Welcome to Teach Me to Dad. I'm Kurtis. This week I'm chatting to James Dearness. This episode is exactly the kind of chat I was keen to have in this podcast. He's a guy I respect a lot. I've loved getting an inside look into his parenting. As normal, it's a low-key chat. Two mates having a chat about being a dad. If you reckon this podcast is up your alley, you think it might be good for a mate, do all the things that'll get that word out. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, tell me. Give me the feedback, hit me up on Instagram, hit me up wherever you can, and let us know, because I want to know how you find this. I want to know if this is worth continuing to do after we've done a season's worth, so please do let me know. But without further ado, James, teach me to dad.
Teach me to dad, I am a dad and I need some help. Teach me to dad, I'll never learn this by myself. Teach me to dad, I am a dad.
James Dearness.
Hello.
Pumped to have you. Bit of context for people that may not know you. My connection to you, and then why I thought I wanted to invite you on this, right? It must have been a very random phone call because we don't swim in the same world.
No, we don't.
We haven't swum in the same world for ages. We were both at church together, but that would have been
Long time.
10 years ago,
10 years.
at least.
Feels closer than
and then
that.
you moved church, and then you moved again, and then I trailed to where you were.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But, so, here's why I called you.
Okay.
Right? Thinking about this.
Yeah.
Even from back then, you're going to hate this.
Oh, I'm going to hate
You've stood out to me as a man with integrity.
it.
And
If only you knew.
and I do mean this as a compliment.
I know what you're going to say.
Extraordinarily ordinary.
Yeah.
Or ordinarily extraordinary.
Yeah.
I don't know quite what that
100%.
is, but like
That is true.
And
that is a true assessment.
and I think that's a goal in life. There's something about doing the ordinary with integrity, genuinely trying to do your best. And I actually think I
Take
think
your
that's the hardest.
ambition, take it, and chuck it in the bin.
Yeah. Like someone that doesn't even try to be successful in any sphere.
Yeah,
because
that's it. Yeah. What's the point?
Yes.
I know.
So,
It's a loser's life. Look,
but anyway, that's what I was thinking. So
Yeah.
it was raising kids
yeah.
is not an extraordinarily big endeavor. It's
No.
not scalable business empire.
No.
But a certain amount of character. So anyway, that's why I thought of you.
Well, thanks, mate.
And I wanted to pick your brain on some things.
Yeah, cool.
So I appreciate you coming.
And I when I got your call, it didn't feel weird at all. It's like, Kurtis, he's the man.
Yeah.
I remember coming back to Peninsula Church, and I get a text in my pocket from you saying, "Hello, James Dearness." And I don't think I had your number. I'm like, who is that?
Yes.
And I was like, it was you.
Yes.
I was like, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm
good.
glad to come and hang out and
Yeah, good.
talk
Well,
garbage.
I'm keen to see what I can learn out of you.
Yeah.
So your family, who's in
Family, yeah.
who's in the team?
Who's the team? So Penny,
Yeah.
she's the matriarch.
Matriarch, yeah.
And then me. And then I got 3 kids. So Chloe, she's 8. Redhead, curly redhead, is beautiful. Oscar, 6. And then Felix is 2, just turned 2.
Solid.
So a 4-year gap.
You,
That was a mistake.
the 4-year gap.
Don't do a 4-year. Don't do a 4-year gap. No, it's good.
Yeah. Are you out of a hectic phase? Is it feel
That's
steady at
a
this
very
point?
interesting-
Youngest up beyond 2.
Yeah. So like just getting to that point where you like feel there's some light at the end of the tunnel, because with below 2, it's a very manual job with children. Feels like. I mean, most parents probably have kids that are like under 2 that are making their bed, making their breakfast, but not us, right? So the other morning we were in bed, and normally Felix, the youngest, comes in and says breakfast and basically demands that one of us get out of bed and get him breakfast. And so the other morning he didn't come in. I was like, what has happened? And my older 2 had made him breakfast, and I'm like, I've arrived.
That is the
Thank you,
bomb.
Lord. I've arrived.
Okay, so I
So
should
we're getting there.
I should be talking to Chloe.
Yeah, you need.
And
Yeah.
What have you done?
Yeah, what has
What
she
have you
done?
figured out? Because she's up at the
She's
crack of
up.
dawn
Well,
making breakfast while you're in bed.
It's actually Oscar. He's.
Okay.
I mean, Chloe can do it, but Oscar's up early, and
Okay.
he'll usually do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you love about being a dad?
Being a dad. What I love about being a dad. I love a lot of things. One thing is it forces me. You mentioned how ordinary I am, which is very true, but it forces you to to do things that you normally wouldn't do, right? That I would never.
Like what?
So like just like thinking about, oh hey, we should go and check out that new place over there that I've never seen before, just for the kids' sake. Like, I don't really want to go, but like it's good. It'd be good for them. Like you know what I mean. Um, and then there's the whole watching them grow. I find that sad though, to be honest. I find having kids a little sadder than it is I expected, because you just realize how quick you're aging.
Wow.
You look at your kids and you go, man, you're like 8 now, and like I remember when you were 0.
When did you start feeling that, man, this is really passing?
Yeah, probably just when Google Photos like shows you, like, remember 5 years ago, and you look at this thing and go, man, you know, that feels like yesterday, but it's not yesterday.
Yeah.
You get older, and I feel like time does it slow down? Like you don't, it speeds up, but you don't feel like it's going quick. You feel like it's going slow, but it's really zooming past. And kids have really done that, I think. Like 10 years or something since we've seen each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Do
you do imaginative play?
Yeah.
Are you good at it?
No.
What do you
I
do?
do.
What do your kids get you doing?
So they always want me to do the monster game. I'm good at scaring them.
Yeah.
So we do the monster game. So on the trampoline, I just basically wrestle them until they scream. A few times they've had to say, "Dad, stop! You're scaring us." But it's a bit hard work too, because they won't. Now with Felix, the youngest, if I stop, he just hits me until I get up and get really cranky. So it's full on gig, man. It's a full on gig. But yeah, I like reading with them. So reading. I think we read The Hobbit, and it can get a bit scary. And so we're getting to Gollum and.
How many of the kids would sit down and read The Hobbit?
Not Felix, just the 2, Chloe.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, they
Oscar
really.
At that age would.
Yeah. There were times where he'd have to go out of the room and he's like, "It's too scary." It's only The Hobbit, but and so just getting them into a world of it's like make believe.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I like that aspect of it. I'm not super good at like pretending to, I don't know, play as a.
You just like scaring them.
I just like scaring them.
You're scaring them.
I'm a good monster.
You watch Quentin Tarantino movies with them kind of thing.
I'll put on, whatever's the horror of the month.
Yeah, gotcha.
Come on, kids. Exorcist.
Yeah. All right. So here's some things I'm keen to think about. Paint me the picture of just life, day to day, week to week.
Yep.
Get the rhythms. And then I want to figure out what does being a dad and putting effort into that fit into the rhythms.
Yeah.
So work, what do you work hours? When are you up? What's the morning? What other things exist in your life? Paint me the picture.
Yep. So do you want like a blow by blow?
Give me it.
Oh mate.
Give me like a day by day, and then a week by week, boring. And then Tell me about your ordinary, underwhelming life.
So like at the moment, because it's a new year, I'm trying to like get up early. That'll last probably 6 weeks.
Solid.
So I'll get up 5:30, 5:45. I'll try and go for a 15-minute walk or a 20-minute walk.
Yeah. Kids asleep?
Kids, if then usually Felix is up, and if he's up, I'll give him breakfast, and I'll be like, "See you later," and I'll say, "Penny, he's having breakfast."
Yeah.
Then he can get himself down. So
yeah.
I dash out the door. That's Monday to Wednesday that happens, because on the other 2 days Penny does something. Anyway. And then it'll be get home, and it is a madhouse. It is Zooming lunches if we've been organised already made. If we haven't made them, it's making lunches. It's getting everyone breakfast. It's getting everyone dressed. There's a fair bit of yelling that happens, which is, unfortunate. But
1 in school, is that right?
No, 2 in school.
2 in school. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So 2 are running to a pretty schedule.
To a schedule. There's a time.
Because we're hitting school this year.
Yeah.
We're going to learn you can't just rock up at daycare whenever you feel like it.
You have to.
School starts at a time.
Now Penny's working 3 or 4 days a week now, so that makes it hard because both of us are leaving at a particular time.
Yeah.
And depending on the day, I'm dropping them off. So we'll get everyone ready. We'll have breakfast. We'll yell at everyone until they're in the car. We'll make sure all their stuff's in the car. This year, Penny's implemented a chores chart, which is actually genius. Like, I'm very disorganized, right? Believe it or not. She can be very organized. She's not always organized. She's very much better than I am. She's made a chore chart where it's like, make your bed, put your shoes away, have breakfast, brush teeth, just basic things, and you have to do it. And it's a little chart on the fridge. Well, you don't get. Penny's got like a she's only did this for a week, but like she'd give him a little thing at the end of the week, like a toy or something.
Yeah, gotcha.
But we don't want to encourage too much of that.
Yeah,
we
got little marbles.
Like
wooden balls of something.
Yeah, here's a marble. Yeah, doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll take it back from you.
Yes, here's a little token of my approval. Yes.
So that's been good. Get in the car. I go to work. Penny goes to work. Now,
where are the kids?
So the kids are just at home. We leave the fridge open. We're like, help yourselves. We'll be back soon. Don't let any strangers in. No, I drop the kids. So it depends on the day. So sometimes I go to Monica's house. If Penny's off, she'll have them. Otherwise, Felix goes to daycare near my work. Yeah. And the kids go to before school care. Yeah. Cool. And so we'll drop them before school care. Yep. Normally that's me now. Yep. Before school care and then daycare. So it's a pretty busy morning. Mm-hmm. And then work. Yep. And then I finish pretty early. So I finish at like 4. Yep. Best. And so I pick up Felix, pick up the kids, come home, make dinner. Penny gets home. And then we just collapse into bed. Yeah, gotcha. When are the kids in bed? 7. When's the last in bed? We aim for 7-ish, but it's normally, Chloe's like about 8. She's 7:38. She'll stay up and read, and we don't mind if she just hangs out. Yeah. But the Oscar and Felix, Oscar's normally wants to go to bed. Felix, he's just gone from a cot to a big boy bed when he turned 2, and he just keeps getting up. He thinks this is the best. He's like, I can get out of this bed. This is great. You'll be upstairs and he'll just rock up next to you. Hey, Dad. Like, dude, you gotta go to bed. Yeah, okay. So he doesn't like going to bed. But yeah, we aim for 7.
So around 7, 8.
7, 8.
You get that little bit of chill time?
We get some chill time. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's where you just waste your life.
Yeah.
Don't you reckon? That's where I waste my life.
How are you wasting your life?
I waste my life on YouTube. It depends what. Sometimes I'll do a bit of work. Sometimes I'll be on YouTube. Like, it's bad. Like,
and sit on the couch, send each other videos.
Yeah, it's so bad. Man. It's bad.
Best way to waste your life.
Yeah, it's a waste of life. Their algorithm is the best.
Hit myself to the grave. It's the bomb.
I know, it's sad, but it's very true. Yeah. So that's a day.
So
that's like a week though.
Yeah. So in that pattern of life, what are you trying to do as a dad? What are your aims for your kids?
I know this is where you're asking the wrong person. Like when you texted me about this, I was talking to Penny. I'm like, I just don't like. She's like, what? Like, I think about this stuff all the time. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think about it as much as I should. My deep desire for my children, right, is that they would know Jesus. You know, like the true message of the gospel. You know, whatever that is. Yeah. Like they would know that God knows who they are. It doesn't matter what they do. Their life is not based on their performance, but their life does matter, right? That's probably what I would really deep down hope for them. But then there's all the stuff like, you know, I want them to make good choices. Like, I don't want them to make the mistakes I made. So there's that. There's not I don't have high expectations for sporting achievements. I'm like, I don't want them to be. You'd like them to be a pro ordinary athlete. Yeah. I don't actually have this killer instinct for my kids, and maybe I should, but I just don't. I'm too relaxed about it, I think.
You see something of that, you look at that negatively, but what you described as your aim for your kids is the same reason I called you and thought to call you. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's I don't want them to excel in this and this and this, but I want them to bare knuckles, know this, know these things about God. Yeah. Think about how to live wisely and in line with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's a big bad world, man. Like, you get older, it's a big bad competitive world. And I just worry that the kids, I want them to be able to deal with competition in a way that is healthy, whatever that means.
Yeah.
You know, like not trying to compete to win, like to push people down, but to like just to be a good version of themselves. Whatever that's so vague and wishy-washy. But yeah, I don't have. I often think, man, I should have plans, 5-year plan, 10-year plan for the kids. I just don't have it.
Yeah, it's
Because
pretty hard to have a 5-year plan for another
people,
human
oh,
life.
yeah, I know.
That's
People
quite
do
tricky.
though. People
Yeah,
do.
okay.
Like,
Mm.
I think.
So, like, what are, in an ideal world,
Mm.
what things are you doing to parent?
To parent.
To that end.
Yeah, to that end.
What are,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
there's kind of, I have things that I think,
Yeah.
well, I really want to do that. Now, in the hustle bustle of life,
Oh man.
it's pulling it off is a different thing. But
Yeah.
put aside pulling it off. Like, what are the things that you're like, so when I think about what I want for my kids, these are the kind of things I want to sow so I could reap that.
Yeah. I know what you mean. So like, so from a spiritual point of view, like for their spiritual health, like I think it's just regular routine. So like reading the Bible with them at night time, and even like changing that up a bit. So the kids, as they're growing up, I'm finding it harder to like just sit down with the Bible and read it, because like, this is boring, man. You know, because it kind of is hard to get them engaged. I've found some like tours, like the Bible Project videos, like even the ones that just go through the books of the Bible are just, because I actually got the big comic book.
Yeah.
So my hope for that is like, I just want to leave that out. So I can't remember as a kid just looking through books, leaving that out so they can do that, but then doing the videos or whatever, just making sure we try and do that every night. And they actually ask for it now, which is good.
Let's go. And so is that tied into the bedtime routine?
Yes, yeah. So that's part of the bedtime routine. So it's like
one by one or all together?
So all together.
Yeah.
We used to do one by one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then with 3, I was just all about efficiency, man.
Yeah. So,
I'll be here till 9 o'clock.
Yes. So practically, I imagine, is it right? You're doing it at the age of the older end.
Yes.
The younger ones.
That's exactly right.
Are getting pulled up a little bit.
Rightly or wrongly. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so things like when we read a book too, like I want to read books that are like I like Lord of the Rings. I read it much later in life, but I just like that book because it's just so epic. It's such an epic story. Yeah. And there's like
about an ordinary man.
About the Hobbit
on an extraordinary journey.
But isn't it great? Isn't Samwise Gamgee just the man? And even Harry Potter. So like Snape, spoilers. But like he's just the best, and he's the unexpected like good guy. It's like it's such a good story. Anyway, I hope the kids enjoy Harry Potter. They probably won't. They haven't really liked Harry Potter. But Hobbit they love. They love that kind of thing. But yeah, but with the Bible, it's trying to like, it's so, you just want to, when your kids do something bad, you just want to be like, just read this book of the Bible. You know, but you can't do that. They don't get it. Yeah. They don't learn like that. Yeah. It's trying to just give them space to listen, and then hoping and praying that God would call them. So yeah, that's one routine. That's one thing. Regular church attendance. Yeah. I think's really good. It's been hard with kids. Like I underestimated sickness in families. Like I was quite naive before having kids at how often your kids are sick. Yeah. But you know, we get to church every week we can go. Yeah. And that's good. Just getting them, we go here to be with God's people. The kids still don't quite understand that. Oscar often wants to be doing something else. Yeah. But we're just going to go.
But hopefully in the long term that we do this.
We do this. It's a pattern.
And we don't not do this. Like This is
it's who we are.
Thing.
You know, like, yeah.
I have heard that from families. Yeah. Like, where they've really, the big lesson over a broad period of time has been, we don't miss church. Yeah. Like, if we're away or we're sick, we get that, but it's like, we do it. And we're hoping we're teaching. Yeah. It's almost like this Jesus-focused activity is a real tangible way to say, Jesus, and Jesus is very important to
Yeah,
us.
I know.
How many tangible activities
Yeah.
can they do that? That's a pretty clear one.
Totally.
You imagine
Yeah.
teachers a lot.
Yeah. So I think that's, I mean, and they're really down. Like I don't really try, and I'm not modeling any great fatherly behaviors. Often it's the opposite. Maybe one thing I'd say is, and we talk about this in our men's Bible study, it's like just being honest with your kids when you make a mistake and asking them, saying sorry and saying, "Can you forgive me for that?"
Yeah,
You know, like I think is if you do mess up with, like, you might have yelled at them or whatever it is, that's, I think, helpful for them to be like, oh yeah, they're just a human too.
Yeah.
You know, they need forgiveness.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yanni models that really well with our kids.
Yeah.
Always like very quick to have the apology, forgiveness thing.
Yeah.
That's going to teach them a lot about
Yeah.
Jesus, forgiveness, repentance, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good model.
Yeah.
I've always thought it's a funny thing of like good behavior and living godly.
Yeah.
Helps adorn the gospel.
Yeah.
And really sloppy behavior
helps.
Also,
adorn the gospel.
It's a model of forgiveness and like
it is.
There's something.
But that's the pattern. Like we just did the Genesis, some stories on video on it, and that the point was like, you know, in spite of the people in Genesis, like God's promises remain. It's not because of them. It's like in spite of them. Like they all are terrible.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, there's not many redeeming parts to them. There's some. They believe God at his word, but often it's like they're deceptive, they're out for their own interests. You know, but God still's like, well, I've chosen you and I'll still choose you. And so I think that's the gospel, like, you know, and we're saved through grace. So you just show you model that. Unfortunately, you wish you didn't have to ask for forgiveness for being angry at your kids, you know. You just wish that didn't happen, but it does.
It's inevitably going to need to happen. And big picture, imagine a kid growing up with a dad that either messed up but never asked for forgiveness. Totally. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But even one that never messed up.
I know.
That's a hard thing to do.
The bar would be
as
so
a kid,
high.
Be like,
you'd be doomed.
You do something wrong. I can't go to my dad. He never does anything wrong. You know, like it's not good to do wrong. Not good to sin. But
no. Yeah.
But it's going to happen, and so it's good to model that response. Yeah. How do you figure out? So an example you gave me. You get out and do exercise in the morning.
Yeah.
All right. One thing I constantly try to figure out in family life is the house full of kids is an endless supply of demand. Like there's always a way you can be helpful.
Yeah.
And there's you and your wife trying to manage this thing.
Yeah.
And any time you take to leave that and do something that'll be long-term good for you is a stitch up for the other one.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
So how have you figured that out? How do you figure out how much is the right amount to take to be looking after yourself but still laying down your whole life for your wife and your kids?
Yeah, I know.
And how did you make it a routine? You've talked I do this some mornings. Yeah. Penny does this some other mornings.
So
how did that happen?
So I got to be honest, like Penny's really good at giving time away. Like she'll just be like, go and do it, but there'll be no hidden like angst about it, which is so nice because it's like, oh, I can go away because I feel the pressure of being away, even if it's in the middle of the day and the kids are asleep. I feel like, oh, I should still be around, just, you know. And so just giving the space, she's been very helpful in that. I also have just, like, you just ask, hey, what time can I go for a walk? Can I go for a walk from these times? Oh, I got to do, okay. You find a time. So the way we came up with it was like, if I get up really early, go for 20 minutes, that's fine. And then she said, oh, can I do the days when I'm not working? Can I go for a surf? Great. She's still yet to go for a set. But I'm
Yeah.
leaving the days open. Like,
yeah.
so try
Which
and
means
push
you're
her out
taking it the
door.
days she's
I'm
working.
taking it to try and get back into a rhythm. Because
Yeah.
man, since we had Felix, I haven't done anything. Like,
Mm.
and it's so important. And I really need to get outside by myself somewhere, like wherever that is. It's very important. So it's been good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you have an argument about it. You talk about why you have an argument about it when things settle down, and then you just work within the parameters. It's never going to be perfect.
Yeah. So what are you trying to do?
What do I do?
What things are you trying to do that's in the immediate,
Yeah.
not helping the household,
Yeah.
but doing things for you?
For me.
That obviously in the long term is helping the household.
Yeah.
But like, what is it? So there's
Dude.
morning out exercise.
So
That's the
morning
thing?
out, yep. I'll just go for a walk for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all I'll do.
Yeah.
The main motivator for that is my watch is telling me I'm getting unhealthy. Like your VO2 max is below average. I'm like, oh.
Yes.
So anyway, I need to
below the goal of average.
The whole average you're below that.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't want to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
And then there's like I'll go for a mountain bike ride, and so there's a group of guys at church that go. And that's really good. And I'll often do that like after church on a Sunday or a Saturday, whenever there's a free moment. I was like, can I go for a ride? And it'll be like, yes or no. And another thing I'll say too, Penny sits down with the kids at the start of the week and writes on they all have a little whiteboard, and we've got a family like planner whiteboard. Just write down what's on that week. We have a digital version of this. We should just take the digital version and put it into
and does it with everyone.
With the kids.
That's awesome.
Amazing. And so we all kind of know when things are on. I obviously forget often, but the kids know I'm going to be Nanny's here. I need my own whiteboard. I've actually got a thing that comes with my phone. I'm still hopeless. So yeah, so the things I'll do is just walk. I'll go for a ride. I mean, I try not to take too much liberty. Like I don't want to be gone forever. I don't want to like just want to be away from my family. Does it make sense? Because I think you can be like, I just want to be away from them. Yeah. I'm going to I'm gonna go and have a holiday home up in the Rumballara Mountain. Yeah. You know, and live there.
You want to recharge, not run away.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Nothing more exciting.
Who in your mind is like kicking goals dad? Now it doesn't need to be someone you know. I'll give you mine, right?
Yeah.
Mine's Phil Dunphy from Modern Family.
Oh yeah.
The dad in Modern Family.
Yeah.
I just think he's awesome. Now there's obviously he's not teaching his kids about Jesus.
Yeah.
But he has some line where he's like, my aim is that if my kids see me, if my kids when they're teenagers see me as one of their goofy dumb mates, then I know I've succeeded as a father. And I love that.
Man.
And I just think that's great. Do you have any dads that you think, I love that? That's the kind of dad. There's something about that quality.
Yeah.
That I just love it.
Man, I don't know. I feel like.
Do you watch Bluey? Do you like the dad from
Bluey?
Actually,
Bandit's
pretty epic.
I mean, yeah. The dad from Bluey though is like not real.
I know he is.
He's too good. You know, like he's always ready to play. He always has the best games.
Yeah.
Even when he wants to be lazy, he's still fun.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. That's the best dad in the world.
Yeah.
But he's not a real dad.
Yeah.
He's the guy that wrote the show. Kind of version of himself. Probably best version of himself.
Yeah.
So sure. I'd be that
Yeah.
dad. But I don't know. I don't compare myself to other dads. I think I'm not doing a very good job. I'm pretty sure everyone else thinks they're not doing a very good job. I think we're all just walking around thinking we're not doing a very good job. And there's a few that think they're awesome. Yeah. And they're not.
And they're the worst.
They're the worst. And there's a few that think they're bad and they're the best.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't. So
what do you think it is? What's at the heart?
Yeah.
In your mind as you pursue it, as you think, what's the heart of being a good dad or just the dad that you want your kids to be able to have?
Yeah. I think being a safe person, somewhere that they can, you want to be place of safety for them.
Mm.
So yeah, able to listen to them and engage with whatever they're doing. So like, you know, when they come and say I want to play, just being available, like being an available dad is probably something in my mind that I want to be available when I can, so my kids can just hang out and they'll learn from me, even though I don't think I've got anything to teach them in this moment. Just being there down the track. I think that about my dad. Like, you know, you go through this phase of life where you're like, oh, dad, he didn't do this and he didn't do this and he didn't, oh, you know, oh. And then I get to a bit older in life and you've got your own kids and you go, man, dad would have had to plan to do that. He would have had to do this, to organize all this mechanics to make that happen. You appreciate your dad more as you age. I'm not too worried if my kids don't appreciate me when, like, that's not my goal. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not trying to be.
You're not going to be worried about the teenage years.
I'll be hurt if they don't love me. Absolutely, like you will. But I'm not trying to be like. I'm not trying to be a certain picture in their mind.
Yeah.
I'm looking too much at myself then, being too inward focused, and I fall apart. Like I was like, oh, I'm so useless and I've done nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to think like that. I want to think about the potential that they have. You know?
Yeah.
Whatever that is, I really want them to just think deeply about life. You know, that's really probably at the core. Like, just think about it.
Yeah.
You know, be nice to people, love them, and try and figure out what life's really about. Don't just go along with it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
That's really interesting concepts. I don't know if I've quite put my finger on before, but available. Yeah, I've thought a bit about that, and safe. That's very.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah. I know a lot of people that have had unsafe dads, and so safety is something.
Yeah. Kind of dad I could come to when I've done the wrong thing. I can come to ask things.
Yeah.
I can be myself around them because I feel safe. Like a lot of. That's really.
You're not saying you don't ever get angry, right? Like you're gonna need to tell your kids they're doing the wrong thing, but you don't want to be just a tyrannical monster.
Yeah. You let that outlet come and play monster,
that's right.
And you read the whole.
I'm gonna get the whip, boy.
Yeah. That's it. You try to scare them in those things.
Yeah.
You can be the safe place.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. It's a good.
It's very
you like it?
It's very serial killer hostage situation kind of thing.
Oh mate,
create some Stockholm.
You got to keep them guessing. I just spilled some milk. I don't care. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's given me a lot of things to think about. I really appreciate it. No. Appreciate your time. Appreciate poking into your family and your dadding a lot.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for
I
coming.
appreciate hanging out. Thanks for the beer.
It's been good.
And the jerky.
Yes. Awesome. Well, James, you're a legend for making the time. Some takeaways from this chat for me was that idea of safety. Been thinking about that a lot since then, being a safe person for your kids to come to as they navigate the world. And I've been really thinking about the value of that. And how helpful that would be, that they could come to us and not run away from their dads, from their parents. And so, something I'm really keen to emulate. And I'm keen to think about how to play that out, particularly how that relates to things like discipline. We want to help them do the right behaviour, and so we need to help them see the negative effects of negative behaviour, but we want to be a safe person, so we don't want them to be scared of us, we want them to be safe to come to us, and how do those two dynamics play? That's something I'm keen to think about some more. To wrap up, an encouragement to dads. This is Philippians 4, verse 17. Paul says, "Join together in following my example, brothers and sisters, and just as you have us as a model, keep your eyes on those who live as we do." That's why I appreciate being able to chat to James, someone I can look to as a model and seek to emulate some of the things he's doing as he seeks to honour God, point his kids to Jesus as a dad. Next week, I'm chatting to a dad who told me never give advice to people about how to parent. And then we talked about discipline, what we should and shouldn't do as dads, and a whole heap of stuff. I'll catch you then.